Hi, thanks everyone for joining this evening. I'm Anastasia, the Dog Tooth Fairy. I'm doing these support sessions once a month within my Facebook group, which is a free community to join. It's Emmipet Made Simple with the Dog Tooth Fairy. And I do these once a month, usually the first Wednesday of each month. But yeah, the first Wednesday in Feb, my Zoom was having an absolute doolally and I couldn't get it fixed. So 2 weeks later, here we are. So welcome everyone. This is just a bit of a free forum really, where you can ask any questions about Emmipet, anything you're struggling with, anything you need support with, and I'll try my best to answer. I might not have the answer for everything, but if I don't have the answer, I'll try and get the answer for you after the Zoom. So if there's anything I can't answer now, I will endeavour to get back to you on it in the group. So if anyone would like to start and ask the first question, you can either ask them verbally or you can pop them in the chat box, but as it's quite a small group, you might just be able to take your microphone off and ask the question.
Okay, do you want me to start off?
Yeah, you can do.
I've got quite a few questions. Some might not, others, and some might not. I don't know. I'm actually in France.
Right.
I'm a dog groomer in France.
Mm-hmm.
And I obviously need it, as you said, for my own pets.
Yeah.
But also want to do it for the clients as well. Feedback I've had so far has been brilliant. So I've basically got a whole load of clients already waiting.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, just had a big vet bill in, so that's put me back a couple of weeks. Yeah. For one of my old dogs, bless her. Now, obviously, if I order from you, I'm going to have to pay tax. So what I've looked up is to try and order my main bulk of stuff. I did find one in France. So I presume he's probably like a distributor like yourself.
Well, what you can do, Sasha, because I have a web shop and it links directly to Germany HQ. So I would just drop you a web link and Germany will ship it to you. So they have like a minimum order, and I think it's about 12 euros P&P from Germany. But if you wanted a lot of kit and you take it to, I think it's maybe about 300-ish euro or something. If you went higher and got a lot of equipment, they do free shipping. But it comes direct from Germany, but I would get obviously commission on that because you're doing it through my web shop. So I would get my distributor's commission, but then I could give you all of my aftercare and support.
That's brilliant.
And then it doesn't matter where you are.
About, yeah, I mean, I had to pay ridiculous taxes because of lovely Brexit.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
Yes, it's completely messed up so many things. I mean, my own birthday present from my mum, who'd crocheted me some gifts, I had to pay about half of the value because she put a little value on it of about 20 to 30 euros. I'm like, no, Mum, just put €1.
Yeah.
Or £1, sorry. Brilliant. Yeah, no, that's fine then. I can do that, and then you'll get the commission on what I'm going to order. So that's brilliant.
Yeah. Are you following on my social medias and things?
I'm on your Facebook group. Yeah.
Yeah. So just drop me a message or put it on the Facebook group. I'm dropping my email all over the place at the moment because I've started streamlining all of my orders and inquiries to my email. Because people were doing WhatsApp, they were doing Instagram, they were doing email, telephone calls, phone messages, text, and then also Facebook personal and Facebook business. And as my business,
like me, yeah,
my business has just grown this year particularly, and it's getting really busy, and my head's just scrambled with it all. So I'm channeling everyone now just to the email, and it just makes tracking so much easier.
Brilliant. No, that's fine. Yeah, I can use whatever, system is best for you.
I can give you my email if you want to drop us an email after this. So it's just
oh, we have already actually.
Oh, right. Already.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, it's you, baby. Oh,
she likes to come up on the sofa.
Oh, she's a standard, isn't she?
No, she's a little mini, but
she's a little mini. She looks bigger on camera.
she's a little bit big for a mini, so I'd say she's sort of like in betweeny, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, they're the best. Not quite normal. Okay, so on your website, are you going to be doing the large quantity of brush heads?
Yeah, you can get those on the website.
Yeah, because I don't want to just buy them in twos. I'm going to need a lot.
Yeah, so through the web shop link, they sell them in packs of 14, so you can get the 2 different size variations. So if you wanted to go crazy and just stock yourself up, you could get like 14 small and 14 large.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to need to get more than that to start with, so that, because if I run out of them, then I'm messed up, you know what I mean? And if I promote it and do a kind of like open day to start with, then I might do that. So I think I'm going to get my bookings in really quickly. Right, let me just have a look at my list. Can you use it on cats as well, if the cat will allow it?
You can use it on cats, yeah. So the small brush head, the small brush head is small enough to fit in a cat's mouth. And I have got one client that has Sphinx cats, and she's a pet groomer. She grooms cats and dogs, and she wraps her little cats up like a burrito in a towel, and then she just like brushes the cat's teeth. So it can be done, and it's really beneficial because a lot of cats get dental health problems as well.
Absolutely, yeah. My old cat years ago had to have all of her teeth took out at the end of her life. I mean, it didn't bother her at all, but it's the fact that you've got to put an old dog out. In fact, my Chihuahua, about 2 months ago, he's 15 and a half. He's had 2 lots of teeth out already, and he's just had to have the rest taken out because his mouth was just horrendous. I mean, had I known about Emmipet years ago, if it was available, I probably would have done it, because you can't get a Chihuahua to chew bones. You just can't.
Small. It's a small breeds, isn't it? Like mine's I've got 2 small breeds, and they're both really prone, you know, even if I'm bad and I don't like, you know, brush the teeth and I forget for maybe a week or something, or a couple of weeks, they start really quickly getting like the discoloration. So I've got to keep a real check on them, especially with Rocco, because he's 10 now. And I think he's just getting to that age where the tartar and the plaque builds up a lot quicker with him.
Yeah, definitely. My oldest is, she looks like a Jack Russell, but she's not. And she's 16 and a half. And hers are horrendous. Because in the last year, I've started to give her soft food. And that's just made it really bad really quickly. But she won't even let me go anywhere near her mouth. So she's just going to have to suffer, I'm afraid. Until she pops off, because there's no way I'm putting her out. It was stressful enough. So yeah, because I've had to deal with that recently, it really makes me want to be able to do this as a service for people.
Yeah. And it's definitely, it'll definitely pay for itself, you know, if you've got what is it, 9 cats and 6 dogs, or
7 cats, yeah, 6 dogs.
Yeah, so even if it just pays for like your pack of animals and it didn't even get as far as the client, it's going to pay for itself in saved veterinary dental costs. But I mean, it's a bit of a, what's the word I'm trying to think, I've gone a bit brain dead tonight. It's a bit of a no-brainer really to roll it out to your clients, because if you're using it at home on your pet, like why the heck shouldn't you be using it at work?
If I can do something to stop them going through the what I've had to put my little dog through, and the suffering that obviously I went through as well, the anxiety, is just horrendous. It's like, no, don't want to have to do that. So, and a lot of my dogs, since I've been deciding this, I'm checking all their mouths anyway and telling the clients. And also, you know, if it's a dog that I know that I can't maul about in its mouth, then I won't even mention it to the owner, because I'm not going down that road. But yeah, everybody that has let me, all the dogs that let me maul them about, you know, in their mouth, then brilliant. I've got them as clients if I can get my pricing right. And one of my clients said to me, oh, they used to get their dog done in England, and they only charge £10 a session.
Oh, that sounds awfully cheap.
Yes, that's what I said to her. I said, well, I won't be able to match that.
Yeah, no. No, that sounds awfully
The
cheap.
first one was 20 because they charged a tenner for the brush head, and then just €10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. With regarding the pricing, now this should be helpful to a lot of people. Obviously, I kind of size my dogs, the clients' dogs, in 3 sizes: your little diddies, your spaniels, your cockers, and then obviously your biggest, your labs, etc.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, on a follow-up, it's not going to take me as long on a Shih Tzu as it is a Labrador, and I'm not going to use as much toothpaste.
Yeah.
Literally the teeth are so much smaller, and I better cover more teeth with one brush, so a follow-up. So should I do 3 pricings, do you think, from the follow-ups?
I think that might overcomplicate things a little bit for you. I've never heard anybody say different pricing structures for different size dogs for the teeth, because obviously with grooming it's very different. If you've got a large breeder dog, you've got, you're going to be grooming it for a lot longer and that sort of thing. But I think for teeth, sometimes you'd be surprised your more smaller dogs can be more difficult and time consuming to do than your larger breeds of dog, because they might be more difficult to get the toothbrush in. They might be a little bit fussier. Like I had a teacup Pomeranian that used to come in that you could just pick up in your hands, and that was really difficult to try and brush its teeth just because of the size of the dog. So I think you'll find that your larger dogs, they're pretty easy to do, and they come with less dental health issues than your smaller breeds. So hopefully you shouldn't have as much plaque and tartar to shift.
Oh, okay. So maybe just keep it at one, especially to start with. I mean, I guess I could reduce the price if I've got a client whose dog is absolutely brilliant and it's literally 10-minute, and I've done the follow-up. I could then reduce the price for them if I want to, but maybe just keep it as one price.
Yeah. And people do different things with the pricing. Some people will charge more for the sessions that need a lot of work, where there's a lot of plaque and tartar to shift. And then when it comes to the maintenance sessions where you're just literally cleaning the teeth and you're not needing to remove any plaque and tartar, then the price reduces slightly for the maintenance sessions. And if the client just keeps on with the maintenance sessions, then they're going to keep that low cost. But if they slip off the radar and they don't come for months and months and months on end, then some groomers just say, right, well, we go back to the start and you pay this £50 because that's the start price of the intro session, and you've let the dog's teeth pretty much get back to square one. So you're going to pay a square one price.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I mean, the clients that I've got on 6 weeks rotas are saying, because I kind of said, 4 to 6 weeks is what you need for your follow-up, is what I've told them so far. So if they're on a 6-weeker or even an 8-weeker, I could then do it at the end or the beginning of their groom, probably, in case there's toothpaste everywhere.
Yeah. I always say it's usually better at the start, because if the toothpaste can get on the muzzle and
I don't want to have to be washing faces. Right, okay, now that's good. That's really helpful. And how much time would you say, like, if you could have them in for their first sessions, do you try and get as much in say, in a fortnight, get as many in, maybe 2 or 3 sessions a week over 2 weeks?
Yeah, so the first session, the intro session, I would always scratch out an hour in the diary. Now, I never really use that whole hour, but it just gives me the calmness that I need to be calm with the client, calm with the dog, and have plenty of time with that dog so that I'm not rushed for time. So I would give a thorough consultation with the client, would go through everything about the Emmipet. I usually show them the toothbrush, how it works, because a lot of clients might have anxiety about what's going to happen to my dog and that sort of thing. I would get them to sign paperwork. So I have these dental record cards that are really useful. Go through everything, get all the client's details, get them to sign it. First session for me is mainly about desensitizing and familiarizing the dog to the toothbrush. I'm not so fixated on getting all the plaque and the tartar off the teeth in session 1. That to me isn't important. It's more about instilling the gum health. So getting the toothbrush and working on the gums to get the gum health in place, but also to make the dog feel comfortable. So when you do an Emmipet, you want to be holding it against the teeth, ideally for up to 2 minutes. But when you first start with a dog, you might only manage 5 seconds, 10 seconds. That's absolutely fine. And once you've done that, just give loads of positive reinforcement. You know, whether that be verbal praise or a little tidbit or whatever you do with that dog, give it a toy as a reward. The worst thing that I see groomers doing is where they fixate on the fact that they must get these amazing results in session 1, and they're really like forcing the dog. They're like, oh God, we've got to do the toothbrushing, we've got to use the rosewood stick and get the plaque and tartar off. That's going to be detrimental to the session.
That's not how I work. I work on, you know, very thoughtful about the dog's needs and how old they are and all that sort of thing. So
that's the question that I get asked a lot, is groomers panicking because they've not got this like fab result that they see before and after that they might see other groomers achieving. And I think that some groomers are going a bit heavy-handed, maybe with tools that they shouldn't be using in session number 1. And I just think that's not the way that I do things. I explain to my clients that it's a gentle, progressive, holistic dental alternative treatment. It's preventative. And I just say that if my clients want the really quick result, then they go to the vets and they have the dental done, because if they go and get that done and they get a scale and polish, their dog can walk in, you know, in the morning to the vets, and the owner can pick the dog up in the afternoon and it'll have a beautiful Hollywood smile. But that's not how Emmipet works. So
well, that's what I said to one of them. I said, look, if you want to go to the vet and have a dental done and then come to me for the maintenance after seed, that's, you only ever have to have it done once. I said, that's fine. I said, that's your decision on which way you want to go ahead.
And some dogs will be too far gone as well for the Emmipet. You'll look at the teeth and you go, oh my God, you need to go to the vets and get a dental. So those clients can go to the vets and get a dental, but I would always try and get them to book in with you. So if they come to you, you see how bad the teeth are and you say, please go to the vets. Maybe book that client in for 6 weeks' time and say, ring me when you've booked your vet's dental, and we'll schedule a time for like your dog to start coming on a regular maintenance schedule so that this doesn't happen to your dog again.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Well, I'll back off for a bit in case anybody else wants to got any questions. I've probably still got more questions, but I'll look through my list. So thank you. That's a good start. So
just going to have a look, because there's a few questions in the chat. Let me see. Alex, my new brush is still charging. I haven't managed to connect the 2-pin plug to the 3-pin that came in the box. Sorry for being... right. I'm not quite sure, Alex. Was I supposed to send a video to you of the how to put the plug in? Maybe I was. Let me see. Yes. Right. I'm going to write it on my hand, and I will. God damn it! I'll find that video tonight and I'll send it over. It's not that hard. Alex needs video. How are you charging it in a minute, Alex?
Oh, I've just got another. I've got another 2-pin.
Like a travel plug thing.
Yeah, a travel plug for like a razor or something.
Yeah.
But I'd like to use the Emmipet one and take it down to my groom room. So yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I can't do it. My husband can't either. So
it's sort of the little pins go in the place, and then you've got to give it like a really bit of like welly to get it to...
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just worried about breaking it.
Yeah.
I'll have another look.
I'll send my video, though I've written it on my hand now, so I definitely won't forget. Sorry for forgetting about that.
No, don't worry, you've been busy packing.
Yes, I have. Right, let's have a look. Oh, who's this? We don't feel like we're getting enough bubbles, even though we put loads of water and plenty of toothpaste. What are we doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong, because the nano bubbles are completely microscopic, so you won't see them with your naked eye. And I think because we talk a lot about the nano bubbles, a lot of people think that they need to see the bubbles with the eyes, but you don't need to see the bubbles to know that it's working. If the green light's on and you've got paste and water there and you're working on the dog's teeth, as long as that green light's on, your toothbrush is working. So don't be looking for the nano bubbles with your eye, because you'll not see them. You would only see them if you had a microscope. Alex, at college, I was taught to do the teeth before the bath. Yes, that's correct. Right. Has anybody else got any questions? Do you want to unmute yourself if you're muted?
I've just been a bit anxious about actually using the Emmipet on clients because I've had no results with my little Jack Russell.
Right.
I'm really scared that I'm going to get these people coming in and I will have no success whatsoever with their dogs as well.
So what I would say on that is that you probably need to work on some other teeth other than your Jack Russell. So it's always good to do a little case study of maybe 2 or 3 animals at once. So if you've got a friend's dog, or if you've got, you know, a family member's dog that you can work on as well, that will be prepared to bring the pet to you. Because what I've found in my experience is that every client's different. So you might have one dog where the plaque and the tartar comes off in session 1 in big hulks. It's just literally ready to come away. You get other dogs where they need like 10, 11 sessions for the tartar to shift. My record was a Cocker Spaniel. He took about 10 sessions to get the results in. But his
so how do you keep the dog's mum invested in it when you're not getting any results?
So what I do is, if the client comes to me and they look as if they've got heavy tartar plaque build up, I would sell them a 10 block session. So at my salon, I sold blocks of 10, and then I did pay as you go. Now, most of the dogs that had plaque and tartar build up that was, you know, moderate to heavier, I would always lean them towards buying a block of 10. Now, I had a credit card machine at my salon, so it was quite easy for clients to pay it on card. If they couldn't, then that was fine. They did pay as you go, but I did find that the majority of my clients did do the 10 block because they made a £50 saving by buying a block of 10 sessions. And once they bought a 10 block, if I said to them, I need to see Barney every week until his teeth are clean, they would just come for the sessions. And they would understand, because, you know, I explained to them the way that Emmipet worked. And I said, because Barney's old, because you've let him get to the age of 12 without doing anything to his teeth, and he's got this level of plaque and tartar buildup, he's going to take a lot more sessions. And these are the reasons why. So I need you to work with me, and I need you to come every week. And I need you definitely to come to them appointments, or his teeth will just slip backwards and it'll be a waste of time. And his teeth came, it was like I think it was the 9th or the 10th session. I got the rosewood sticks and it just all started flicking away, but it took a lot of work to get to that point.
Right, okay.
Is once a week going to be enough then, do you think, to start with?
If you can get your client to come more, then brilliant. So if you're working with quite a heavy build up, then if you can get the client to come in every other day or even daily, you know, you could work daily on your pet's teeth at home, but it's not always the case with clients. You can't get them in that frequently. But if you could get the client to come a few times in a week, if they'd bought like a 10 block plan off you, you will see quicker, speedier results, obviously, because those sessions are like closer together.
Right, yeah.
But always be checking the gums as well, and make sure that the gums are nice and healthy and that they can cope with that amount. Because sometimes when you're starting out with Emmipet, because it increases the blood flow and circulation to the gums, they might have little blood spotting and things like that. So then I would give the dog a break for a few days.
Would you recommend suggesting it to, I have quite a few puppies who come to me, would you suggest it to the puppies' mums who don't have any build up but do it as a bit of a maintenance thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's really good, like part of their socialization. So if you do puppy packages, if you're a dog groomer, it's really good to like build an Emmipet introduction into that session. Obviously, just being mindful that they are going to lose the puppy teeth, so you might not want to go crazy and do loads and loads of sessions with them, but maybe like a couple of little intro sessions just to get them used to it, so that when they do get the adult teeth, you just get in that like 4 to 6 week schedule and they're just used to it.
Yeah.
This strike is the WIU insists that there's no room for manoeuvre in its budgets, but what really are.
I don't know whose that is. I'm trying to.
Is to
Has someone got the news on?
Lots of capitalised.
It's coming up with Lisa Phillips.
Yeah. I'll just put you on mute, Lisa. Sorry about that. You can unmute yourself if you need to. Right, I'll just have a look because there was one more question, I think, in the chat. I've lost the chat box. Where's the chat box gone? This is me being a technophobe. No, I've lost the chat box, but I did feel that there was one more question off Sandra, but hang on, let's see. Chat box, I've found it again. Way, right. Should we focus on the 1 tooth per session when the tartar is quite bad? Yeah, if you've got a particular problem area that you want to focus on because that dog has a lot of buildup in that area, then obviously the more contact that you have with the toothbrush, toothpaste and the water on that particular area, you're going to see quicker results. So if you have a particularly troublesome area on your dog's teeth and you've got a real tartar buildup in that area, focus the lion's share of your session on that area. But obviously I would still try and pass all around every tooth because that'll help heal the gums and maintain all of your gum and dental health. But I would definitely focus the majority of your session on that problematic area because that'll just help speed your results up as well.
Anastasia, did you get the picture of Trixie's teeth that I sent to you to see if they were too bad? I think I WhatsApped it to you.
Let me have a look. I've been so terrible.
I know you've been really busy. I've seen your posts. I've
got to be honest. I've been having a bit of a business burnout where you just feel like you're having a bit of a. So that's why I've been putting everybody's messages to my emails. So I haven't been on my usual form. I'll see if I can find it in my messages.
Hey, stop.
What date would you have sent it? Oh, hang on.
It was the day after the training, I think. I did the training on the Friday night.
I do see that now, yes. Yeah, that's really heavy. That's concreted on. That's going to take an awful long time to shift. So yeah.
Too far gone, would you say?
I mean, if it's your own dog personally, and you're prepared to do like a lot of work, one side looks a little bit more concerning than the other side because it looks like it's kind of affected into the gum line a little bit more. But if you're prepared to do the work and really go at them teeth and maybe be prepared to do about 10 really long sessions and then just see if anything will come off.
Yeah.
It'll just be a case of once you've stripped all of the tartar off your dog's teeth through the sessions and then using the rosewood sticks to flick, then you'll see what's going on underneath. So you'll be able to see what you've got to work with and see if your dog really, really needs to go to the vet. I wouldn't recommend doing that, obviously, with client's dog if the teeth felt like they needed to go to the vet. But with it being your own dog, if you want to go with the Emmipet and get everything off and then see what's going on underneath, then
I'll give it another go.
Yeah. Because how old's your dog?
She is 7.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's your own dog, you weigh up if you want to put them under anaesthetic or if
which I don't really, because she's tiny. Yeah. She's a really, really tiny Jack Russell.
Yeah. I mean, see how you get on. I'll try and be a bit more proactive on the WhatsApp. I have not been very good this last week. So if you just do a session tomorrow, and I would just recommend, like, does she let you hold it against the teeth for quite a long time, or is she fussy?
No, she's a pain. She's a typical Jack Russell.
Oh, well, this is where the problem lies, because I had a Jack Russell that was quite old. I think I talked about her in the training. She's called Fudge, and she was really old, crotchety teenage Jack Russell. Didn't like having her teeth cleaned, and it took us a lot of sessions, and a lot of it was just desensitizing her to actually having the toothbrush in her mouth. But when it came to the rosewood sticks and the flicking, that bit was really difficult because she just wasn't very cooperative. So it was a lot more working with the toothbrush and not being able to necessarily use the tools to flick the tartar off. So it was a really, really long process for her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully.
So how do you know when you can start to try flicking the tartar off? Can you see a difference in it before you can start to use the rosewood sticks?
Off that photograph that I've seen there, that it definitely isn't ready. So usually you'll see where the tartar looks like it's starting to disconnect from the tooth. So there might be a little gap of dental enamel where the tartar's started to shrink away from the gum line.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point you can get in with the little rosewood stick and flick it. But the picture that I've seen, it almost looks like really up to the gums, like it's quite thick, isn't it? Mm.
Right, okie dokie. And you don't always flick with the rosewood sticks, you do the sessions and then only do it when it looks like you might get some success. Yeah,
I mean, I definitely wouldn't go in really heavy-handed on your first session with a client, but you can often just, if you're inquisitive or you're curious, I feel like I've been doing it for so long now that I can just look at a teeth and dental enamel and know when it's ready and know when it's not. But that'll kind of come with practice and experience. But I think that if you want to have a little curious kind of go with your rosewood stick, sometimes you only know by actually trying.
Mm-hmm.
And you might
surprise you would never ever use a metal tool.
I wouldn't, no. I mean, you're not really, any sharp instruments to remove calculus is a bit of a no-no, because it's the Veterinary Surgeons Act. You're not allowed to use the metal scrapers because they're quite sharp, and if dogs aren't under anaesthetic and the dog was to flick its head or jump, you could easily lacerate and damage a gum.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Sandra asked exactly the question I was going to ask about how soon can we start picking and flicking.
Yeah.
And when you get a big bit off, I bet you go, yes.
Well, it's surprising because sometimes you think
out of it where you've got a big bit off and it's like, yay.
I can't imagine that ever happening.
I think you've not got to be so hard on yourself, because you've just tried on one dog, and looking at that picture I can see that that's quite a difficult case to do. And if your dog's not playing ball and being very cooperative either, that's going to kind of put a bit more difficulty there. So if you've got a different client, maybe a family or a friend, a family member or a friend, and just have a case study maybe of 2 or 3 dogs, and you'll find that some dogs are a lot easier than others to get results with. And it's loads of varying factors that comes into it. So like the dog's age, the dog's diet, the dog's dental position, the dog's health, how long has the tartar been sat there for, and all these different kind of factors really.
I was surprised the amount of interest that I got when I posted it on my Facebook. I was panicking.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It seems to be getting more and more popular than ever before, but I think a lot more people are getting aware of what it is, and it's not such it's not so mysterious now. Clients used to not maybe know exactly what it was, but I think now more and more clients are just expecting groomers to be offering it, which is brilliant.
A lot of them were off put by the price, but I guess that's the way of it.
Oh, can I ask what you put, Sandra, on your...
Well, I put as a note...
Did you say you're going to be doing it, or that you're already doing it?
Well, I'm going to order the stuff from Anastasia, and then I'll be in business. I've got my first one's booked in for the 7th of March, but I might actually put that back. So I put, because it was an introductory thing, I put the intro session for 40 and then the additional sessions at 20 after that. And there's only 2 of my customers who've actually gone through and booked knowing those prices. The others have all said, oh no, it's too much, I'll think about it.
I think that it'll be too much when they take the dog to the vet and they're getting like a 400, 500 plus bill, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, as a minimum, really, in the way that things are with prices at the moment. My friend's having her bearded collies done, and they're like 700 each because they need more anesthetic and things. So
yeah, so I'll keep plugging away with it, but I would really like just to get some tartar off before, so that I know I can do it if I have to.
Definitely.
And that's a friend's dog you can do it on, Sandra.
I have got a collie as well, and he is a bit more amenable. I could have a go on the collie, I guess. His teeth aren't bad really, though. I might have a go with poor Teddy. He ends up trialing everything.
That's all.
A really good client that you could offer it to at half price or even free if it's like a friend client.
Yeah. I've been having a think who I might be able to. Yeah, I've been having a think. I'll see. I need to order my stuff first though, before don't want to run before I can walk, sort of thing.
I think if you do have a client that you can offer it to at a discount in return for a testimonial, and then once you've got the pictures and the testimonial, that's all you need to do to really spark people's interests. With mine, I just did 2 weeks on Rocco's teeth and got the before and afters of his teeth, put them on my social media, and that was all I really needed to get booked up. And my Emmipet made us £750 in its first month.
Wow.
And that was like 5 years ago prices, and at that point I was charging 30 for an intro and 15 for a follow-up. So if I was using the prices that I was on now, that 750 would obviously be well over £1,000. So yeah, but obviously the price of everything else has gone up as well, so it's relative.
He wants to show you Anastasia.
Oh, lovely.
This is my Drusus. I mean, his look, you can probably see from
Oh, bless him. Yeah,
they really need doing. So you're going to be first guinea pig, aren't you?
Little old man.
He is.
I'm just looking here at what Alex has said. Do you give a free tube of Orozyme gel on the first session? You could factor it in if you wanted to. You could build it into your intro session price. So that
the Orozyme gel, that isn't the toothpaste, that's something separate.
Yeah, so it's a enzymatic veterinary gel. It's a mild abrasive formula. So if you rub it between your finger and thumb, it feels like little grains of sand. And all you do after your Emmipet session, or if you send it home with your client, I would recommend after the dog's had its last meal of the day, and you just get your client to rub it on the dog's teeth to any affected areas where there's plaque and tartar buildup, and just rub it on the teeth, and then they just walk away, leave it, and the mild abrasive formula almost polishes the teeth and like gets all the dirt and the debris off. So
is that best with a bare finger or with a rubber toothbrush?
They could do it either or, really. It would probably be more beneficial if it was with a little rubber finger thing, because it would like exfoliate the teeth a bit more. And
a lot of people ain't going to want to put their finger in. We don't care, but some people aren't going to want to mush about in dogs' mouths, are they?
Yeah. But the Orozyme's really good. It's really effective, and it speeds up your results, because obviously if the client's doing something at home, it gives them a sense of ownership of the dog's dental care routine, which is brilliant. Yeah. But obviously the results come a bit quicker as well if they're using the Orozyme.
Are there any dogs that it's not advised for use on?
If some dogs have sensitive digestive systems, and if they react to the Orozyme, like if it was to make them poorly or anything like that, like my little Winnie, she can't have Orozyme gel. It makes her puke, which is crazy, because she seems to eat lots of dead things and all whatnot, but she just doesn't like the Orozyme, just reacts with her. But then I've used it on loads of clients' dogs and it's been absolutely fine. But I have heard of a handful of dogs that will react. So if that was the case on a particular dog, then just don't use Orozyme with them.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes, I've got another one. So you definitely use a separate brush head for every dog, even if they're in the same family?
I would, because it's just good practice to get into. I think the client's paying for the brush head anyway, not you. So unless you're really concerned about your client's purse strings, and if they turned around and said to you, oh, can my group of dogs have the same toothbrush, then I know they're all sharing the same water bowls and things effectively, but it just gives you a bit more kind of validation, really, that you're doing the right thing by the dog. So if one dog had a disease, I know they're all in the same family and they're all going to be sharing everything, but you would know that you've done everything to keep everything hygienic practices in your salon.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if there's a client that was, had 3 or 4 dogs and they were, struggling financially, then I could just give them a discount anyway and just give it to them at cost.
Yeah.
If they got me on a good day.
Or you could become an Emmipet distributor, and then you could like sell the toothbrushes to your clients. So not to cut your nose off to spite your face, but if you did have like a client that had a pack of dogs and they said, I can't afford to get all my 5 dogs' teeth cleaned, you could say, well, I sell the toothbrushes, so you could buy one off us, and then you would get commission for that. So that's something else for the future if you ever wanted to.
I've already considered doing that. So is that something I do through you as well?
Yeah, well, you could go in my downline if you wanted to, but distributors can be all over Europe, so you should be able to do it in France.
Yeah.
I've got a Portuguese distributor, so I don't see why not.
Okay, cool. Because it's something that I thought of, because things over here aren't as expensive as in England. I mean, years ago, I think my little Georgie's, the Chihuahua's dental with extractions, was like 400, and I'm going back 8 years at least, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And he just had the rest of his teeth out on a dental, and it was under 300.
All right.
So, and this is all those years later. So, and my other dog's just had 3 nights in with some kidney flushes, and for 3 nights, and it was 360 euros.
Right.
For 3 nights in the vet. It's like, So that's what I'm a little bit worried about, is overcharging. Like Sandra was saying, that she thinks that might have put the clients off, because I was originally, when I've been looking at all your videos and listening to your other Q&As that you've recorded, so I've done as much research as I can through you, and I was thinking of 45 to 50 for the first one, including the brush head, and then I was in my head, I was thinking 20, 25. But after talking to that other client who said that she was getting it for a tenner, I'm thinking they ain't going to want to pay 25. It's definitely going to be too much. So
it's the time that it takes you, isn't it? It's the time out of your day where you could be grooming other dogs or doing
this is
things, isn't it?
It's difficult, because I'm kind of thinking that the smaller dogs that come in for their 6 or 8 weekly grooms or 12 weekly grooms, I can tag it on. But obviously all the bigger dogs that just come in every few months for baths and de-sheds and stuff, I'm going to have dedicated dental days for all the other ones that I can then book in, and I'll start off with 1 day a week. And I'm thinking of, like you said, an hour for the first session, and then to allow half an hour. Is that about right, do you think, for a follow-up?
Yeah, I would say follow-ups are usually around about 30 minutes. And some of them you'll find that when the plaque and tartar really, really comes away, and you just literally going around the teeth, sometimes even 15 minutes is enough. I wouldn't charge any less because it's a maintenance session. Like some people have said, oh, well, I'm only spending like 10 minutes on the teeth. Should I bring the price down to like £5, £10 or whatever a session? I'm like, no, dog groomers don't get paid enough as it is. So keep your, have your intro price, have your maintenance price, and just keep them as that.
Okay, cool. And yeah, we can adjust accordingly we do find we've got a really easy one and they're struggling financially, then we can always adjust it as and when. But you can't go up, you can always come down.
Yeah. I do think as well, it's a really nice way of working, the Emmipet. I found that when I was doing it in my salon, that you know, I would do it on Saturday mornings from 9 till 12, but I also had Emmipet that I did through the week. So it was either with a groom, built within a groom if it was a maintenance session, or I used to put it at the start part of the day and the end part of the day. So that's how I worked it into my diary. But what I found was that on Saturdays when I did all the blocks, if I was booking like 3 top-up sessions or maintenance sessions into an hour, I was maybe making 50-60 pounds an hour on a Saturday morning from the Emmipet, whereas grooming wise, I was lucky if I made 20 pounds an hour. So for me, the teeth cleaning made better money. It was less wear and tear and strain on my body. It was a lot less physical. And I just like absolutely fell in love with it. And because I was really passionate about it as well, I found it easy to sell it to my client.
Yeah, this is how I've been, because I'm passionate about, I want to do this for the dogs and the owners, you know, so that's why I'm like busting a gut to try and get this up and running as soon as I can, you know.
I think it's like trying to step out of the mindset as well of like, oh, what they're going to say about my prices, what if they say it's too much and all this. You're the expert and you need to educate them on the real sort of negative health effects of canine dental health, and just really explain to them like this cannot be ignored. It's part of the sort of regular like responsible pet ownership and part of your care routine. When you got this dog, you needed to like think of all the things that you needed to do to like look after your dog, take it to the vet if it needs to, feed it, you know, get it groomed, look after its teeth. And it's really explaining to your clients. That dental model that I use a lot for my teaching, it's got half of the dental anatomical model, it's like really nice teeth, and the other half you flip it around, it's got really manky teeth. You can pick those up on Amazon, but those are fab to like educate your clients.
Yeah, I've already got one saved in my thing to buy.
Yeah.
So everything's been saved and yeah. And the dental record cards and things like posters and leaflets, they're not on any of the websites to buy. So
the dental record cards are exclusive to the Dogtooth Fairy, because I had them made, because when I was a dog groomer, there was only dog grooming record cards and I found they weren't fit for purpose. So I made the dental record cards. So I produced those. Those are in English, but it won't matter because you're English. So you're the only
that's fine. Yeah.
It's just, I suppose you would write them out for your client and then it will be your record to keep on them. But yeah, if you wanted some of those, I could post those over to you in France if you wanted those. The leaflet,
do we order those from the web shop?
the dental cards, you would have to send me an email and then I could give you a price on those, and then it's just a bank transfer because those are exclusive to me. And at the moment I'm still working on my own personal website, which is work in progress, but because the cards are separate from Emmipet, they're very much Dogtooth Fairy. You can just drop me an email for those or to get information on them, and it's just the dogtoothfairy@gmail.com for any inquiries about orders and stuff, and I can send you price lists and anything else that you need to know about.
And the posters and leaflets, because they're not available on any of the websites or anything. Yeah,
I can give you I can give you PDF marketing documents for posters free of charge. So if you just drop me an email after this, if anybody wants the posters, I can send them to your email. The only problem for you is they would be in English. So if you've got a client base that's French, then they won't.
I'm about sort of about a quarter French and 3/4 English. So I would have to I would use that to then make another one and translate and print something off that was in French as well. So.
I know that Emmy does put the posters and things into different languages. So if you did buy like a kit through my web thing, they'll have a record anyway to say that you've bought a kit from Emmipet. So you could just drop them an email and say, does your posters exist in French? Because I've just bought a kit off Anastasia, but I'm in France.
Yeah.
If you do have a poster, could you email it out to me? And I'm sure that they would if
That would be good. Yeah, that would save a lot of it would look better as well. Then I can then advertise, because I think the French might take a little bit of persuading. The English will go for it, but I'm not so sure the French not up on that yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
So they could take a bit of
convincing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, well, I'm just looking at the time and I've realised that I've been rabbling on now for nearly an hour, and I'm going to have to go because I've left my little toddler with my mum at her house. So I'm going to go and pick her up. But if nobody else has got any more questions, if you do have any questions that you want to ask me after this, you can drop them in WhatsApp if they're just questions. If you want an orders and things, then you can send me an email. So my WhatsApp is 07583 689 366.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
07583
Yep.
689 366. And my email address is just thedogstoothfairy@gmail.com.
Excellent.
And that's for all supplies, is it, that we email you for that?
Yes.
So I could email and say I want to order so many brush heads, and that's the way it will come to me through there.
Yeah, just drop me an email and
Yeah.
tell us what you need. I can send you a price list. I'll work out what's going to be the cheapest way for you to get your items. So if you want to import it from Germany through my web shop, Germany now say that you need to spend a minimum of £135. So if clients are wanting bulkier items, I tend to steer them towards going through my web shop because they might save a little bit of money doing it that way. But if it's just like bits and pieces and they're wanting a few pastes and brush heads and things, they're much easier coming through me because I import the stuff, and it means that they don't have to spend £135 minimum to bring it in from Germany.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.